Hey,
Yes.
it finally worked.
Oh my gosh. Such a mess. I don't know why it only works on phones.
Very weird. So yeah, not on laptop. Has to be a phone.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah,
I guess I always do it on my phone, so I guess I didn't even think about
me neither. I've never done it before. So welcome Facebook.
that. Oh my gosh. So now that we've got this going, why don't we just go ahead and start by just like introduce yourself? What do you do? That kind of thing.
Yeah. So my name is Hope Johnson, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I am a pediatric RN. And I work mostly in the ICUs and on the COVID unit, and it's stressful as all get out. But I've been working with Alex for almost a month now. I think this week will be a month, and so it's been rocking.
Yes, girl. So, kind of tell us a little bit about, you know, why you ended up joining, kind of thing. Like, where were you prior to joining, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I just got into this rut of doing. I've gained a bunch of weight, and then I would do all these fad diets, and I would stress for months doing these crazy diets, whether it's keto or paleo or things like that. And then I would lose a bunch of weight, but then because I restricted myself so much, I would binge eat after I was done, and then I would just end up and feeling like a blob. And so Alex reached out to me, and ever since she did, I have been like so motivated. I don't know what it is, but something about you telling me that there are interested people and committed people really like changed something in my brain, because before I only was interested. And then I realized, like, okay, if I'm going to commit to something, I can't just be interested. I have to be committed. Like, that is the whole word. And so it's ever since then, I have been just on fire for trying to get my body right.
That's awesome. No, I love what you said about, you always did these diets where, you're told that there's all these rules and you have to restrict yourself on some type of food, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
feel like a lot of people fall into those diets, whether it's like, okay, I have to cut out all sugar or I have to cut out all carbs and everything. And sure, we can do that and lose weight. Yeah, that'll work. But how sustainable is that? So you can keep yourself, accountable to that for what, 2, 3 weeks maybe. And
yeah,
then as soon as that, like, as soon as you have that sugar, those carbs again and everything, I feel like all of that just comes back and then you get frustrated and then you're like, nothing's working for me.
right.
So
And
I feel like,
just stay in my little hole and just feel bad about myself for not doing things right.
I know that's such a struggle. I feel like so many women fall into. And if you guys don't know, you probably don't, what interested versus committed means. So whenever I go to talk to someone that about my training and things like that, I always ask them, are you interested or are you committed? And the difference between those are going to be people that are interested are going to, well, let me start. People that are committed are going to be the kind of people that, have a goal, get after it, do whatever it takes to get to that goal. When the challenges arise, they're either going to reach out for help or they're going to get creative and, just ultimately get past those challenges and keep moving forward. Whereas if you're just interested, you're probably going to start making excuses when things get tough, and things will get tough. So, gonna start making excuses and maybe even start making excuses before you even start. So figuring out kind of where you're at on that spectrum. A lot of times people just come to me or just, have lived their life just interested. And they're like, yeah, I want to do this kind of, but they don't like really commit to it. So I feel like once you really commit, there's something in your brain that just like happens and clicks and you're just like, let's go.
I've got to do this. I mean, and if you got to do it for yourself too, you can't do it for anybody else.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I talked last night on Instagram Live with my nursing friends Julia, and I was saying the same thing. Like, a lot of people come in and they're like, I'll ask them, why do you want to do this? And a lot of times people will say, okay, for my kids, for my husband, like, I just need to get healthy for them. But it's like, girl, it's time to do this for you. Like, it's your life. It's like, this is your thing. If you're, accountable to other people, or you're doing this for others, it's probably not going to be something that lasts for you. It has to come from you.
Absolutely. And that's what I want. I want a lifelong thing that I can do where I feel good, I'm fit, and life is just happier when you feel good about yourself and have more confidence.
Definitely. That's important. I feel like I'm getting a lot of static. Are you?
I am.
Junk?
Yes, I don't know why either.
Oh, well, we'll power through. So, I guess, how did you feel like how you were living your life before, and just with health and fitness wise, was kind of affecting your life as a whole?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, when I would go through those fad diets, some of them I wouldn't work out at all. And I'd be like, oh, the diet will be the whole thing. Like, I don't actually need to do any activity. That didn't work out. And then I tried like a whole stint of I need to work out, and then my diet wasn't right. And so I never had this, I didn't know how to work out either. I just would do like random apps or different programs that I would see that were free and that I could just join on. And so, but I had no motivation. I hated getting up to go and work out. Even the fact of putting on workout clothes, I just hated all about it. But now I love doing it my first thing in the morning. I put on my workout clothes, so I have the motivation to go out to the gym.
Yeah.
Even working, like I try to schedule my days, or the beginning of the week, I schedule out my workout days so I know what days I'm going to. And if I have to do it on a work day, I make sure that I get up before work at like 5 a.m. to make sure I do it.
No, that's such a good idea. Just like being prepared. And I think we talked about, just like doing that 5-minute action of something as small as putting on your workout clothes. What's up, Mark? Something as small as putting on your workout clothes is really gonna, just drive you forward to get in that workout mode. Go put on your workout clothes, fill up your water bottle, then see how you feel. Because I guarantee you're probably gonna, start feeling like, okay, this is doable. Let's go.
Right. And again, I'm still in the beginning, so I have so much progress to make. But I'm very excited about the little things that I've learned so far, and I know I can take this a long way.
Definitely. And that's like why I wanted to have you on, because I feel like every little goal that I've given you even so far, you've just absolutely crushed it, and just like no questions asked. You just take it and run with it and really make it your own. So I'm super proud as a coach. And like you said, we haven't even been working together for that long. So it's just really cool to see, you really just start to embody it and like make it actually like part of your lifestyle. So like, what do you feel like has really changed in your life since kind of implementing some of these things?
I find that I feel like I have more free time, which is weird because I'm doing more things. But before, I would just kind of sit on the couch or sit at my computer and just like scroll through Facebook or scroll through Instagram. Right. And now I want to go do things. And so I find that I have more time, which I know that sounds so strange, but I just used to spend so much meaningless time doing things. And I didn't realize how much that took up. And so now, so I'm more, I just have been out walking, going on walks, and I've been frisbee golfing a bunch and seeing friends. And so before because I also didn't feel good about myself, and I felt like a blob. And so now I'm inviting friends to go for a walk and doing things outside that are causing me to work out and feel better about myself, and then getting back into a routine with people.
I love that. And sorry, I talked about
You're good.
I feel like that's so important too. Like getting active and doing things that are going to be like a workout without it seeming like a workout. So yes. I know you and Damien like to play frisbee golf, and that's so fun. Like you're out in the sun, getting some sunshine, like walking around, getting your sweat on, and it doesn't feel like work.
Right. We just are having fun, being very competitive. So, we have to. And at the end of it, you end up burning like 1,000 calories or like 5,000 to 6,000 steps. It's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess I want to come back to, you saying that even though you're adding all of this stuff to your life, like with activity and stuff, you feel like you actually do have more free time. Do you feel like that comes from, just prioritizing your goals appropriately and like putting those actions in place and then, just feeling like you have the rest of that time to hang out, or where does that come from?
Absolutely. Because now, like, I feel like my day is a little more structured because I make sure that I work out in the morning, and then if I have, then I meal prep or do create my plan for what I'm going to eat for the day or for the next day, which does take up time. And so it's not as when you're doing it, you're like, oh, this takes forever, but it really doesn't. And then by the end, once you get to your meals, it's like you don't have to worry about it. It's already thought of. It just takes that beginning time. And so I have been like planning out, I guess I'm making everything more structured. And then if I have free time, then I'll watch some TV or like just do leisure activities. But as long as I make sure that I prioritize getting in my protein in the day or making sure I'm going for a walk, making sure I get my exercises in. And then like everything else just seems to fall into place.
That's awesome. That's such a good, like, I don't know, perspective and like another just I don't know, example of really like putting this into your lifestyle, making it something that you can do. Because obviously it's work and it's hard, but it's just like worth it when you feel better.
And I've already noticed, again, I'm still beginning, but I can tell that like my body feels less swollen. I am looking forward to doing active things. Before, like I said, I didn't want to do anything. Now I'm like, okay, do you want to go frisbee golfing today? Yes. Like, or do you want to go on a walk today? Like, that's just so new for me.
Yeah.
And I love it.
That's awesome. And you're getting your significant other into it too, like when you're doing it. So you guys are kind of like, I don't know, supporting each other through that.
Yes, which has been a huge help.
That's awesome. So what do you feel like has been, one of the most helpful things that you've learned so far in the process?
That's a good question. Kind of to give myself some grace is kind of the biggest thing because I want to be perfect at it and I don't like disappointing people. And so I have noticed that like even if I don't hit a goal on a certain day, I have given myself grace to wake up the next morning and start again.
Right.
So I think that's kind of been one of the biggest things that I've learned to help.
That's perfect because I feel like so many people try to go from like 0 to 100, and once they're not at 100 anymore, it's like, well, I screwed up, so I give up, kind of thing.
Right.
So I feel like it's so important to have that balance and know that it's okay to screw up. It's okay, and you don't even have to like screw up. Like some people say, like, okay, I had a cookie or I had some ice cream tonight. Oh, I screwed up. Like I'm so bad, but like. Is that really screwing up? That's just like living life. So learning around that like tomorrow is a new day. Wake up, acknowledge you had a cookie, get over it.
Just making like small, better choices already has like I've noticed like because I love my ice cream. You get little Yasso bars. I think that's how you say it. I'm not really sure, but they have protein. They're only 100 calories, and I make sure to fit that into my day because I love it.
Exactly. It's not all like chicken and broccoli and rice all day. You can have some good foods.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So with protein, since like we just talked about it, how do you feel like, I know a lot of people struggle with, getting their protein in, and specifically like a lot of people come in and they are probably getting less than half of the protein that they probably should be eating in the day. So how have you managed that and kind of added so much of that into your life, and what are your go-to foods?
Yeah, so protein in my day was something completely new because after I was just tracking my just normal foods at first, which is what you suggest, I realized I get barely any protein because I like junk foods. And so starting that protein goal was really difficult at first, at least I thought it was, because I felt like it was new things that I was always told, like for protein shakes, for instance. For some reason, I was like, oh, if I'm not working out, I'm just going to gain more weight. And so I never, like, I always avoided those, or I always avoided protein bars. And so now I have realized that I do a protein bar every day, I do a shake, and then I do a good handful of chicken, because chicken has lots of protein, as we know. And then I, like, at the end of the day, if I need more protein or less calories, I'll eat some, like, beef jerky or tons of Greek yogurt. I've been loving Greek yogurt. But I'm trying to find protein-packed foods that have not that many carbs and not that many calories, so that way I can have multiple to build up that protein, because that is hard. Like, that is one of the hardest things I think I find to get, and it's just a challenge. But Greek yogurt and protein shakes have been a lifesaver, and peanut butter, good peanut butter.
Yes, exactly. I feel like, just taking some time in literally exploring the grocery store. Like, I feel like that's so important. Just like something stupid like that, because we always go to the grocery store and just end up getting the same things. So I feel like if you can just go and look at things that you might not normally get, or I don't know, someone posts something that they're eating, so you like go look at it, see if it'll work for you, kind of thing. I feel like just like expanding your diet of just your regular things is so important. Figuring out, what is actually on the nutrition label, if that makes sense.
Right. It honestly has blown my mind about, like, little things that I'm like, oh wait, that has no protein at all, and I used to eat that all the time. No wonder. Like, and there are good protein foods, is what I used to always tell myself there wasn't. Yeah. And so it's been a weird change. I'll tell you that. It's been great.
Yeah, you've been doing so good with it though. And then as a nurse, because I know a lot of the people that follow me are nurses, and have a lot of friends on Facebook that are nurses. So how do you prioritize your workouts and fit your workouts in around your shifts?
So it's weird because, I mean, we only work, 3 or 4 12 hours in a week. But it seems like we work forever because it's those 12-hour shifts really take it out of you. And so, like, when I have my 3-day week, I try to just, like I said before, prioritize or schedule out my workouts to make sure that I have them on my days off. So it seems like I don't really have, like, a lounge around day, because my off days are usually when I'm working. And so that gets a little tough. But, like, during the day, I make sure that I'm getting my protein. So I'll bring a protein bar, because it's so difficult to eat during those 12-hour shifts when you are constantly running and trying to take care of these patients. Like, there's many days that I'm not able to eat until, like, 4 o'clock, which is ridiculous. And, yeah, so I honestly, scheduling out is the way to go. And I have to force myself to, like, okay, I need to take a 10-minute break real quick to shove this protein bar down, and that would have fuel at least a little bit to get through this day. Yeah, and then afterwards I try to get a protein shake in to make sure that things that I didn't get throughout the day. It's crazy.
Work days can get a little
They can, but
sorry, go ahead.
You're good. I was gonna say, but yeah, honestly, scheduling out my workouts to make sure that on my off days I have to hit them. Otherwise, I mean, I don't feel complete, if that makes sense.
Right. So, like, scheduling out as in literally putting it in your calendar kind of thing?
Yeah. So, like, I use my phone calendar, and so, like, because you have given us, like, good, like, day 1, day 2, day 3. And so I put on, okay, day 1 arms, day 2 legs, and make sure that I have to have all those things in and to make my week work. And so, yeah. And I try to do it, like, my weeks are Saturday to Saturday in my head with my journey. And so I, like, everything has to be done before Saturday. And then I can start over that next week. And it just seems to work.
That's perfect. Yeah, I feel like it's so important to make that time for yourself. Literally put it in your calendar like you would any other meeting, any date that you're going on, whatever. And like, this is my time. This is when I'm showing up for myself.
Yes, and I find that I'm so much happier too. Like, it just is a mood booster for sure.
That's awesome. 1 sec, my phone's about to die. I need to plug it in. I'm a horrible host.
It's great.
Okay. In action. So while I'm plugging this in, I guess were you, with all like, you know, the diets that you've tried and things like that, were you kind of skeptical of joining like a program like this, or like what ultimately made you like take the leap and make that decision?
Yeah, I was pretty skeptical. Like, I've always heard that people talk about counting macros and that's the way to go, and I have never known where to start with that. But because I've, you know, seen the results of the fast diet, but then I just felt like I couldn't like maintain, so I felt like the failure. And so with like talking with you, this is in the beginning of like, why was I interested in this? Because as I that I can do forever, because I don't want to stay this weight forever. I want to continually get better and continually improve. And so I was very skeptical at first because I was like, there's just no way. Like, I know myself. I know that I'm not going to be able to do this. But again, like, something changed in my brain as soon as like we talked for the first time, and like just knowing that you are so supportive and that you can kind of see everything is very transparent. And so when you know when I a little fallen off the wagon a little bit, or you know my victories, and that like not disappointing you and disappointing myself has given me so much motivation.
Right. And like I feel like with, you know, those free programs you get and those like quick workouts or whatever from like Instagram or anything, that's all good and all, like that's perfect place to start. But I feel like, you know, having that extra layer of accountability is something that just, you know, takes it to the next level and makes it something that, I don't know, that you're gonna stay accountable to because there's someone keeping you there.
Yes. And I mean, even just like with a friend, I used to be like, oh, let's keep each other accountable by doing all these workouts, but I didn't actually invest in it. And so now that I have spent some money on this program, like, it has become what I'm focusing my whole like life goal on right now. Like, this is my goal. I mean, obviously I have other life goals, but like right now, this is my passion. This is it.
No, that's awesome. I feel like that's another good takeaway too, because, you know, like spending money and like investing in something is also another way, like, okay, I'm invested financially, mentally, physically, like this is it. Like, I gotta do this. And I feel like that's important too. That another thing that just holds you accountable, because like you said, you know, you can try to, you know, have your friend keep you accountable, or a lot of people are like, well, my boyfriend works out, or I don't know, my husband will keep me accountable. Like, will they though? I know Dylan would not keep me accountable.
Right. Like, they can try, but it's still, there's just something different about having a coach and having them be transparent with every aspect of life. So I totally recommend it.
Awesome. Okay, if you had to say, who would you say this program or something like this would be for?
Like, as in, why am I doing it? Or
like
you mean,
like, I guess, what type of person out there would benefit from a program like this?
honestly, lots of people who don't have confidence in themselves and feel like they are failing at trying to get healthy, because you give the sense of empowerment towards behind people, and or any man or woman who is just trying to feel like get strong, because your workouts that you have us do make you feel so good at the end of them. And I've never had that before. And so anybody who wants to learn how to lift or learn how to do these different things, or wants to know how to count macros, like, this has been such a weird and good change that I highly recommend to everybody, to be totally honest.
No, that's awesome. Definitely the workouts are fun, because I feel like a lot of like, you can get these programs that are like HIIT workout, like beach body, like let's run around and do like high intensity cardio stuff, but like, no, baby, we're getting strong here.
Strong. Like, I'll do my cardio for sure, but oh my goodness, strong.
Yeah. It's kind of fun. It's definitely different than like, I don't know, what a lot of girls like, you'll go into the gym and like jump on the treadmill or whatever. But I feel like it's so important. A lot of people say, you know, they want to get toned. So the best way to do that is gain some muscle. So you don't, you know, if you end up losing that weight and you don't have the muscle there, you'll just look like a deflated balloon. So that's what I tell people. Gotta have the muscle.
Gotta have the muscle.
So in ending here, what do you feel like have been, or what kind of like biggest tips can you give, you know, people that are just starting their journey, or, you know, they're frustrated because they feel like they've tried everything and nothing's working? Where do you feel like have been, I don't know, your biggest tips you can give to those people?
So one thing I will say is that, I mean, I've been there because I have lived like half of this year or half of the past couple years of being frustrated with myself. And like I said before, give yourself grace because this life is hard and you have to just continually improve yourself. And that's the only way kind of to do it. So the tips to things that I like make sure I do in my day is, first, like to get my water goal, to make sure that I'm drinking a gallon a day, I try to drink 32 ounces, like in the first 2 hours of me waking up. That way, I'm like real with you all the time. A gallon's a lot of water.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of water. And so, but just keep drinking your water, and then, like I said, if you don't get all of your goals in a day, try to fit as much as you can in and then retry the next day. That is just kind of what I keep doing. And then finding good protein foods and good protein shakes. That has been a huge, because at first I used to get really nasty ones and I had to choke them down. And there's so many good, doable ones that like I actually enjoy drinking and I feel like it's a little treat.
Yeah.
So my biggest tip is find good things that are like macros are good with them, or things that and use different proteins so that you don't get burnt out on them. Like I almost got burnt out on chicken because I was just eating chicken all the time. Gotta switch it up. And those have been my biggest takeaways.
I love that. Yeah.
Oh, wait, also, and making sure you find something that you like to go and get active, because that definitely, I'm telling you, frisbee golf has really been a thing. It's been making me get outside, so everybody should try it.
That's so fun. Yeah, I think there's a couple courses here. We need to go check them out. I know we used to do it in college, but
yeah, see, that's what I did like a couple times in college, and then never went back to it. And so, but because it's outside and it's free, so if you're trying to save money and be in confined spaces with people, it's the way to go.
That makes total sense. That's the move, guys. You heard it here first. Frisbee golf. Frisbee golf is the move. I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Hope, for coming on and like giving us some tips and your take on, you know, your progress so far and everything. You're killing it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. And thank you for being my coach.
No problem. Thanks for dealing with my technical difficulties, everyone. If you want to follow a badass babe, hit up Hope Johnson. You know where to find her. It's just a shout out you're at. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a great night. Bye.
See ya.